Okay, my clock says 12:01, and thank you, Beth, for reminding me. I did hit the record button. Welcome everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020, the wonderful year that we will all love to remember. 12 o'clock, and this is LinkedIn Lead Generation. If you're here for the bowling 101, you've got to the wrong Zoom room. So my name is Gabe O'Neill. I'm the godfather of the digital business cards, and today we're going to go over some really cool LinkedIn stuff that I've discovered somewhat fairly recently. Um, Again, my name is Gabe O'Neill, and again, the godfather of the digital business card. So if for those of you who have not done it yet, please text the word Gabe to the number 21,000 to get my digital card. Otherwise, all I do is ask you to remember to text the word Gabe to 21,000, or that's what you tell other people, just like Rob did with Mr. Hazy earlier today. That's the way it's done, and I appreciate that, Rob. But it just goes to show that people get business by just being able to hand out that particular keyword to their number. And let's see where we are. So the digital business card, as I said, is something that it's an attention grabber. It makes you memorable. It'll also update your or upgrade your digital profile. And it's something that this is what I do for my clients. But I'm also now offering a new service, and that is this like LinkedIn lead generation. At one point I've been getting all my business from networking and from my digital card, and it was doing very well. But I got greedy. I said, "What else can I do to add to that?" And basically, I discovered this. This is another way to bring people into my digital card sales funnel, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm gonna go over it today. So how and I'm gonna show you. We're gonna go underneath the hood. I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it, and I'm gonna show you some of the results that I've gotten. So it starts with you having to have the sales navigator. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but that is part of LinkedIn. That is their premium service. And if you've never tried it, if you have the ability to try it for a month for free, which most of you do if you haven't done it before, I highly recommend it because what it allows you to do is search specifically to and use a lot of different criteria on how to get to the particular client that you want to be introduced to, and that's really why it's so powerful. So the target area is you use Sales Navigator to target the people that you want to be in front of, and then you use something called Octopus CRM to automate that. Now, I've been working with LinkedIn for a long time, and I was getting nowhere. I was putting these messages out. Oh, let's try a different message. Let's do this. Let's do that. I could not get anybody to respond to me. And but me, I like to beat my head against against the wall. I kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and you'll see that I really was getting nowhere for a long period of time. So I had a master teach me this particular method, and what I learned from this is that LinkedIn is kind of like an email drip campaign. If you have five email addresses that you're dripping to, chances are you'll never get anywhere. And it's not, and that doesn't equate to the amount of connections. That just equates to the amount of people that you can reach in any one period of time. So if you're trying to connect with five people and then you message two people or whatever, that is the equivalent of having five people in your email drip campaign. You'll never get anywhere. So LinkedIn, and from my experience, LinkedIn is very much like that, where if you can get to a lot more people in a short period of time, then that's when the magic starts to happen. So, and so, what does this actually mean? I'm sure you guys have heard the term bot, and using bots in not only LinkedIn but other programs as well. These are automated engines that go out and they spit out messages, they connect, they do all these different things. And at first, I was very skeptical because I don't like anything that's not authentic. So because no matter what you do in social media, you have to be authentic. You have to be your true self. You can't be anything that you're not. So how did I reconcile that with having this bot technology that I pretty much hated? And so I thought, I was okay. So let's start with the connections. LinkedIn allows you to connect up to 100 people per day. Now, I could do that manually, or I could do that with a bot. Now, is that being any less genuine by using a bot to do that, or me hitting a button 75 or 80 times? So I kind of, that's pretty much the same, right? I don't really have a problem with doing that. And then the next part is visiting profiles. And we're going to go all in each one of these sections in detail. But another one is visiting profiles. And the reason why you visit a profile is because they get a notification that you do, and oftentimes they will look back at you, and they might instigate the connection. So can I visit 100 profiles? So am I going to sit there and hit all those buttons to do all that? Probably not, because I don't have the time to do that. But if I have a piece of software that can do that for me, is that any less genuine of me to do that? I don't think so. And the third thing is the messages. So once you've connected with somebody, you want to send a message back to them. And again, it's using a bot to do that. Did the bot write the message? No, I wrote the message, so it is coming from me. So that's how I really reconciled being able to do this. And and I'll go through with you. I'll share with you the exact results that I've gotten so far. As a matter of fact, maybe that's what I will do right now. I'll share a different screen. Oh, was I not sharing my screen that whole time? Um, I thought I was,
No,
or
we
was
can
I?
see
Your screen share.
it.
Okay, so why is
Yep,
it
you can
telling?
see it.
Why is it telling me to do? All right, let me do. This is what I want to share. Okay, so now you can see this other. It's called the
Yes,
LinkedIn
sir.
Farming Journal.
Yep.
Okay, so this is. I figured as long as I'm going to do this, and I only, everything's out transparent. I only started this in September, and the reason why I think I'm qualified to do this is I've been around social media for years, doing especially with my daughter's charity. We built that charity from nothing into an international entity in about 7 years. And we met Richard Branson. We got on the Ricky Lake show. We got 500 kids on our site, et cetera, et cetera. So I know strategy and social media. The missing piece that I had was the automation. Okay. So I started this in September, September 4th. I had 5,500 connections. Let's scroll down to the bottom to see where we're at now. We've got 6,278 connections now, which is what, almost 800 new connections. But what does that mean? Nothing. Having that many connections in my mind doesn't mean anything. I know Jeff Sheehan's on the call here, and he's got like 300,000. I mean, he doesn't get a paycheck from those connections directly, so that's not really what I'm trying to impress upon you. um but it did show some kind of progress. So the next thing that what we did, I did decide that I wanted to track, at least to see if I would be getting to do anything, write down exactly what I did and see what the results were. And remember that I had absolutely no very okay, let's put it this way. In 1 year, or at least I think it's 1 year, 18 months, whatever it was, that whole period before I started doing this, I sold one digital card to Dawn Kirk. It's very memorable. Dawn Kirk was out of Roswell. I connected with her on LinkedIn, and and I sold one card, period. And that took however many months. So we started this on the 14th. As you can see, this is what I do. I visit, I connect, and I follow up. And these are different campaigns that you can set up. And I'm actually going to go through exactly how I do all this stuff. So I visit on the 14th. I visited 300 people. I connected with 75. Remember, I told you that you can connect with 100. So I connect with 75 just to be safe, because I don't want to be going near the LinkedIn limit the whole time. And then I sent 12 follow-up messages. Let's see. I did have a one-on-one like right off the bat with Rachel Carey, and actually two one-on-ones right off the bat. And I am also keeping track, and I'm also sending out my keyword to see how many people are texting me. I've got a different keyword for that. So, and I did get a text from Terry Powell, and a lot of these folks I can go back to and follow back up with, because these are folks that I've kept track of as the ones that have been responding to my campaigns. I'm creating different lists here, and and that's the part about Sales Navigator, where you can create all different kinds of lists and you can target them in any area. So for the digital card, people who are speakers are perfect for the digital card. So I went to Boston, picked a lot of the counties around Boston, and then selected people who had the word speaker in their bio. And so I started to address them as well. So I got again some more more follow-ups, more one-on-ones coming down here. Now there's a gentleman here from his name is James Jones. We had a one-on-one. He's and I thought he might have even been on this call, but I'm not sure if he is. If you are, hey James, how are you? But we've had he actually entered. He is a Harvard grad, and he's also a coach for, I think it's leadership. Jason knows what I'm talking about. Leadership International or something like that. It's a coaching company, and he brought me to the founder of that company, and they were talking about using it for the entire company. We'll see if that happens, but at minimum, James plans on being a client and an affiliate partner, which would be amazing, because when you're a coach of a lot of businesses, that's the perfect type of person to have as an affiliate partner, so that they can sell a lot of them through their clients. So, and again, this is what 2 days after I started, I had that, and I have had subsequent meetings with James, and again, just like anything else, once they're in your sales funnel, then it's up to you to actually close them. What this is going to do is put people in your sales, or this has done for me is put people in my sales funnel. It's up to me how I follow up with them and how I close them. Another one here on the like about a week later, Bob Zagami is the chair of the New England RV Association, and that is a great connection to have, because, as many of you know, I'm a big fan of having the RV people having our digital cards. And it goes on and on and on. Other people that I've had, they texted the keyword, done one-on-ones, whatever. And here's one where I got a negative response, and that's fine. I put that down too. Cynthia Blackwell, I just had a one-on-one with her yesterday. She did not purchase, but I think she may, and she might not, but really. And over here, Sean Sinclair, that was the other day. I connected with him, and he said, "How do I get one?" And then he bought one. So I think technically he is the only one of the only sale I have so far, and that's going from what, 2, 3 weeks, whatever. But it's still all of this activity, and it is very, very encouraging to me. So again, it just depends on how it's not as I said, it's not a fire hose. You're not going to see people jumping and buying from you like crazy. But it is another, and it's the same thing with an email drip campaign. I tell you what, I'm getting a lot more from this than I ever have from my email drip campaign. I've got 900 and some odd people in there. The email drip campaign is just every once in a while somebody will come up and do it. I just use that to keep in front of people. But this is actually driving people to my sales funnel, which I'm pretty excited about. Okay, so let's see where we are over here. We'll share that later. Okay, so let's just get right into it. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm gonna set up I'm gonna get rid of that. Let me just put it out there. Anybody have any questions so far? Nope. Okay, that's totally fine. So let's get right to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to share my LinkedIn screen. Okay, everybody can see my LinkedIn screen, right? And and by the way, you got people doing the same thing right back to me. It's funny. I've actually had a one-on-one with Dan, and I don't think he knows that this is also a bot that's his messaging system coming in to me. So it's all good, right? Everybody's doing it. Um, and here's another one. This one is he's got three messages. That I don't do. This is somebody who can they consistently message you even if you don't respond. You can do that, I guess, if you want. I don't. I send them one message basically, and and if they don't respond to that, then I don't bug them anymore. And that I'm not the greatest salesperson in the world. Maybe that's not the right way to do it, but that's just what I feel comfortable with. Again, all I'm not telling you how to use this. I'm just showing you how to use it, if that makes sense. Anyway, so let's go right into it. Move this out of the way. So I'm going to go into my sales navigator up here. Now, how it works is this is where all the magic happens, and you can. I'm just gonna do a search on. Let me take. Who would like to volunteer? Who would like to find out a perfect client for them, a perfect set of clients for them? Go ahead, Robin. All right. So tell me. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to. What's the locations you want to have?
Atlanta, North Carolina, Florida.
Atlanta metropolitan area, right?
Yeah.
And what else?
Let's do Orlando area.
Orlando, Greater Orlando.
Greater Orlando, yep.
And then what?
To see if you put in Research Park, North Carolina.
Research Park?
Yeah, it's like a research triangle, a research park. There's a whole area there. No?
I don't think so. What's the county that it's in?
It's a tri-county thing.
Well, see, that's the other thing that I do is before I get into this, for example, I'm having a lot of. I'm sorry.
Try Raleigh for RTP.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. The triangle.
Okay, so we're in Raleigh, North Carolina. And just as an aside, I'm having a lot of success up in New Jersey and New York. So I just do a map of the counties, and I'm looking to see how close they are to Manhattan and all that. And I just put all those counties in, and you can use this ad nauseum. You can just keep going and going. Okay, so now the relationship you're going to want to choose second degree connections, and a second degree connections, as I understand it, is people that you have connections in common with, and they still suggest that you do not do. You can do third degree. There's no reason not to, except for they're less likely to interact with you. At least that's the quote unquote the buzz is what I'm hearing. So we're going to use second degree connections. Do you have let's see, an industry that you're looking for, Robin?
Is there a not-for-profit listed anywhere?
Nonprofit organization management?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. Do you have a seniority level, like the owner, the partner, and all this?
Director.
Director. Okay. So I think the idea is you get the idea, and
pretty granular. You can break it down.
This is what the strength of Sales Navigator is all about. To be able to search, and then this isn't my search. This search will do nothing for me, but it'll do everything for Robin, and that's really what's so powerful about it. So even and this I'm paying what $72 a month for this. Even this is, and again, you can get it for free for the first month if you've never done it before. So I would definitely suggest doing this, because if you can kind of sort of do this in LinkedIn, but without the navigator, but they will hit you for as soon as you get over a certain number of searches, they'll hit you for the rest of the month. You won't be able to search for anybody during the rest of the month. So just even this tool is very, very valuable. So let's do a search. Okay. So now we have a 1,000K plus. Now this is where the strategy really comes in. And in my mind, and again, this is me personally, and this has been more, I believe this is why I've been a little bit more effective than others, is that this whole button right up here where you're posting on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. Okay. There's 212. I'm going to ignore that other 800 people, because think about all the people who are on LinkedIn and who ignore who just, or they set up a profile and that's it. You'll never see them again. There's no reason why you should be talking to those people. So I'm interested in the people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. Now I have some folks that I can talk to. Okay. Now, so from here, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to bring up, this is the search that I've created, right? Now, once the search is done, then you bring up the CRM. This is my Octopus CRM.
Ah, okay.
Hold on. Why is it not moving? It doesn't want to moving. So, all right. So let's bring up Connect. I'm going to create a new campaign. I'm going to call it Robin Stern.
Woohoo!
I'm going to create that. And I'm going to, you can send as many, what do we have here? What did it say? We have 1,000K plus.
212.
Well, no. Oh, you're right. 212. So but normally, just as an aside here, sometimes you'll get a much broader search, right? And you'll be able to bring in a ton of people. The CRM prefers that you only bring in 2,500 at a time. So, but for this purpose, we're going to do 212 and we send it to CRM. Okay. So that's been done. So now let's go to the CRM. 212 profiles. The requests have been transferred to the campaign. Okay. So now this is your campaign right here. Okay. This is your Robin Stern's campaign. Now, what message would you like to send to them? We're not going to actually do this, by the way, because it's coming out of mine. But
Sure.
but you can say hello, comma, first name, right?
Ah, nice.
And then you comma. Give me this is this is just connection.
Yes.
This is something similar to what I would do. This is something typical that I would do. And again, this is all personal stuff, guys. But there's a lot of different theories. Sometimes some people will say don't send a note at all. Some people say, oh, you have to send a note. I've been pretty lucky with something pretty small like this, where and you're not going to get like, what do we just say, 212 people. And that's the other thing. Well, I'll show you that in a second, but I'm not going to try and connect with 212 people all at once, because again, you're only allowed 100 connections per day, and LinkedIn will throw you in jail. So this is basically how you do the connect. So, and how I would actually do it is I type up here 75 and launch. So that's what and that would actually generate that. We're going to do something on my profile, because I haven't done this for myself today yet. So we're going to actually do that and actually have it show it working. But that's basically how it's done. So when you do that, it's the set it and forget it type thing, and just let that go. And let's see, you should I'm getting maybe 40% people of reconnecting back. And so that's the first thing.
Great.
Okay. So then once you and once you do that, I'm going to this is where what I really like about Octopus. Once it's a little bit hard to figure out in the beginning, but if I go to tools and I click, just say I want to do, say I have a particular message for, it's not for Florida, whatever this is, it doesn't really matter. But when I do, what I'm doing right here is connecting the messages to the connections. In other words, the first when the first 75 people connect, it's going to bring them into the message department, and then I don't do that until like the next day personally. But what it can do is just say, okay, if that person has not responded to your has just connected but had not given you a message yet, you hit specifically those people with a message. So when I do that, I hit save, and I go to the messages. I think you should say, here we go. Yeah, it's got and I'm kind of mixing his stuff with my stuff, which I probably don't want to be doing.
Right.
But you get the idea here. So now I have these messages. You see where it says up here, skip responded users? Now I can send like 29 messages, and I can send 29 messages to the people that connected with me and didn't respond back. And that I would call the follow-up. And then the third part is the visiting. Now this and what I do is I can typically visit 300 people at a time. So I'm going to make sure, what do I have? I have my, where's my, this one? I'm going to do this one. That one I want to do, I'm going to go back to mine, this one. Okay. Yes, this is actually Florida. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going back to what I had this morning. So I have, this was, I think this was a search that I did of South Florida, Orlando, Jacksonville, West Palm Beach, Miami, and a lot of those different things. Because as I said, I'm having some people down there getting them as well. And so what I do is I just have 1,300 people that I can connect with, and I leave that there, and I just connect with 75 during the day per day. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and launch it because I haven't done this yet. And wait a minute, it's got, where's my, I don't have a connection request here. So let's do that. Would love to businesses. And that's it. That's basically it. That's the connection request note. I hit 75 and I launch it. And what it does is it will do it's processing one, and you'll see that it's timed in between, so LinkedIn doesn't say, hey, what's going on. So it'll just send out, what did it do in 20 seconds? It just sent out one, and then it's sending out another and another and another. So that is basically how it's done. And now we can open it up for other questions. Let me read the chat to see if there's anything good in there. See if there's anything. Okay. Whether you're looking at the Sales Navigator pricing. Okay. Um, okay, so I think let's read Jeff, because Jeff has been around LinkedIn a little bit longer than I have. As I said, he's got like 300,000 connections, and
No,
so
you're
he
spot
says,
on, Gabe. You've really you're doing an excellent job here with regard to it and personalizing things as much as possible. The only the only thing I worry about though is LinkedIn jail. I mean, I've been in Twitter jail. I haven't been in LinkedIn jail, but actually once back about a dozen years ago, maybe. Uh, so you have to be very, very careful of that. They could change their API requirements as the number of daily limits at any time. So they might go from 100 to 50 before you know it. And next thing you
right,
know, you might be in
yeah.
jail. So you need to be aware of that.
Well, I think what actually happened, for some reason, I might have been making some on my own, and I did see from the CRM that that I'd gotten too many, and it just stopped doing it. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't been put in jail yet. I think that you do have to be cognizant of all that stuff,
Yeah.
and that's why I do 75 and not 100.
Yeah, which is great.
You know, and so and then you say a mistake that most people make. You need to measure. And if things aren't working, you have to modify that what you're doing. That's a good point, because in my service, as what I'm planning on doing, and I've also looked at kind of a few other people and how they price it out and how they measure it. And I'm, what I was frustrated with a person with somebody is that there was just one campaign for the whole month. This is what we do. Well, no. What if I want to, like, for me, what if I want to do like flooring? I've got that keyword flooring to 21,000, and I bet and I want a flooring company that's got a lot of salespeople to pick up on that. But I don't want that to be an exclusive campaign for a month. I might want to do that for a week or whatever. So what I do is I have up to 4 campaigns per month in the services that I provide.
I just
So
actually pulled up my LinkedIn and I just had one sent to me from somebody else. It's absolutely a bot that sent it, and it's a very well set up 3 sentences
yep, yep,
signature. And looking
yep.
forward to meeting with you, connect with you. So yeah,
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate, because really, I mean, again, I'm still torn by this, but because they're there everywhere. But guess what? People are getting business from it.
right.
And if I can, swallow that and just do it, then I think I'll be able to sleep tonight, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, social media, and Melinda will tell you this, and any social media person will tell you this. It's all about being authentic. It's all about being your true self. So all I can say is, outside of this area, if you decide to go into it, just make sure you stay true as much as you can, and don't write any message. Don't pummel them with messages. Don't do anything that you wouldn't want to have happen to you. I mean, I get the bot messages all the time, and I don't dislike them. I don't unfollow them or anything. I said, okay, I see what you're doing, and but guess what? The people that I connected with, Sean was a great example. All I did was send him a connection message, and he was one of probably 500 or 600, however many one. He said, "Oh yeah, how do I get one of those digital cards?" We got on. He's got a really cool English accent. I think he's coming to our networking event tomorrow. And he's just a really, we had a great time on the 101. So just forgetting about that bot situation, there you can still be real and still do this, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, make sure. Hey, Gabe, one thing I hate is when these people, they'll be selling something totally divorced from anything that I'm doing, period. So when you have that list there of the people, just make sure that they're involved in the respective industry that you're talking about or whatever. I mean, real estate seems to be uh, so many people doing this in the real estate industry. They're saying, they have all these real estate training courses and that. I haven't done that for 30 something years. And
Right.
so you need to be very, very careful with what your messaging is.
Well, but that's where the sales navigator comes in.
Right.
That's where if you get it down to the, these are my people. This is my tribe
Right.
that I'm searching for. And for me, that's why I think I'm getting a lot of good responses from the digital cards, is because I'm sending it to the people who want one. I mean, based on my experience. So and it's just been I really, really enjoyed it. I'm kind of thrilled because I've been trying to knock at that LinkedIn door forever and gotten nowhere. But this will do it. Any other questions?
And I was gonna chime in on that also to say what irritates me is not people using bots, but trying to pretend like they've looked at my profile.
Right.
I see from your profile we probably can send business to each other when it's
Right.
obvious it's a
Right.
bot and they haven't.
No,
So that
no,
comes back to what you're talking about, Gabe, in that authentic messaging. Keep it simple, give value first. Don't try to sell right off the bat.
right, right,
Be genuine. Don't
right.
promise the world that you're going to help them out with something right off the bat or things like that. Be genuine with regard to whatever you do.
Right. That brings up a really good point. I've had people say, "Oh, I see you're killing it with digital accelerant. I think and I know. Wait a minute, time out, buddy. You don't know me at all. That's exactly what Melinda just said. So that is something that I do not do. I don't pretend to know something about this person. I mean, I'll admit if they say, "Hey, was that a bot message?" I'll say, "Yes, absolutely, it was." Um, but yeah, you just don't put anything that where you're trying to put anything over on somebody.
Gabe,
You muted. You're muted, Jeff.
I'd just like to emphasize, before anyone tries this though, make sure that you have your why down, your messaging and everything on your LinkedIn profile. So if they take a look at to connect or whatever, that the whole authentic, genuine you is there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure that it's a clear representation of what value proposition you bring to the equation, and that everything is there, because they will vet you, and you want to make sure that you are genuine because they'll see right through it.
That's a great point, Jeff. I mean, when you visit somebody, they might look at your profile. If your profile sucks or doesn't have a banner or whatever, they're just going to ignore you. We have a new member to Club 21,000. If you text her keyword, it's LinkedIn to 21,000, and she does like makeovers of your profile. Erin Anderson. So you might want to check her out. I'm not sure if I don't think you do that, Melinda. Do you? Do you do those makeovers as well?
I'm not an expert at it like Erin. She really focuses on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely talk to her first. But I would say my advice is if you're not spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, the old school mindset was LinkedIn, your about section was a resume. And that's absolutely not what you want it to be. It's like Jeff was saying, it needs to be your value proposition and the authentic you. So just make sure that that description, especially the first couple sentences, because that's the only thing that shows up on a mobile view is the first couple sentences. Make sure that you're leading with the value you provide or why people should connect with you. It's not a resume.
Yeah, and don't just say like health insurance agent or life insurance agent. What value do you bring? You help people prepare for their futures financially, or you help them ensure that their insurance costs are lowered, or something that really represents who you are, and make sure it's keyword rich as well.
Very good. Any other
Gabe.
questions? Uh-huh.
Hey, Credit Card Rob here. Hey, so I got a little different perspective that out there, and that is if you're trying to get a high rate, maybe additionally, in addition to your bot, try doing some individual connections and pick out one thing on their profile and mention that or comment about that. That guarantees that it's not a bot, that you've actually taken the time to do a little research or to read their profile. And yes, it's not going to connect with as many people because it's not automated, but you're going to get a higher percentage, I think, of people that will connect with you because it is authentic and genuine.
No, I kind of get that. And that's what I was trying to do before, but that's where I was getting nowhere because I wasn't getting with enough of them. I'm not sure how that translates. If you do one or two, I'm not sure how that translates to the rest of them, the ones that you're automating. Were you trying to, I mean, is that what you were saying or?
Well, it's with the bot, it's a numbers game. You're throwing it out to 75 a day or X number of hundreds at a time, and hoping that your short message of 2 or 3 lines, which is generic because it's going to apply to everyone,
Right.
is going to grab someone's attention. What I'm also saying is that my experience has been that has been less successful than creating a custom message with "Hello, Gabe," with the first name, and mentioning something. Hey, I see you're from New England, or I see you're a fan of this, or
Mhm.
I saw something on your profile that indicates that I actually read it, and I'm not just throwing this out fishing.
Right. Yeah, I think that's just another approach. I think it doesn't, it's
Totally.
yeah. It's so what I'm saying is, and what you're saying is, you don't have to just keep the one approach. You can do both,
Correct.
because
I
you're
agree.
not gonna. And again, I've gotten a lot more response from this quote unquote generic platform. Because people do want to connect with each other. I think LinkedIn used to be, well, if you don't know me, then why are you? No, it's not like that anymore. People want, it's more of a networking platform now than it used to be. And so people are willing to connect with you. And then what happens beyond that? Again, if you're connecting with people that you would think that you would really, that is your quote unquote tribe, then chances are they're going to connect back with you, and they're be willing to have that one-on-one. But it's not a one-way street. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to get all these people in a in my sales funnel so I can close them. No, I have to be willing to help them in other ways, see if I can see if I can connect them, see if I can refer them out, see if I can get to know them. I mean, once you bring them into that quote unquote sales funnel in a one-on-one, that's when you have a normal one-on-one where each other is, you're trying to benefit each other. It's not just about selling for yourself. So
Gabe,
go ahead.
before you end the meeting, I just want to give you a shout out for the quality of your networking meetings. The one that's coming up tomorrow. I happen to was in a small breakout with Kenny Polcari
Yep.
last week,
Uh-huh.
and
He's a good guy.
well, he's a real good guy, but I didn't recognize him right off the bat until he said what he did. And you see him several times a week on CNBC.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so I've watched him for years and didn't recognize him.
That's
But
funny.
it just shows, attests to the quality of the people that are on your networking meetings. A lot of the
Yeah.
people here are, but I just want to point that out.
That'll make him feel great when I tell him that story. um, and credit card Rob, were you actually driving on this meeting? You're muted. You're muted.
Now he's walking.
What's that?
Were you actually driving on this meeting?
For a small portion of it.
That's verboten. You're lucky I don't boot you off. But I mean, I've got these hard and fast rules. But actually, I never say anything about the webinars. But on the networking events, you're not allowed to drive. So let me share go back to one other thing here. Back to this. And so now you guys hopefully can see, you can see my screen. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about, about this, then that, or just have a one-on-one, if we haven't done it yet, or have another one, whichever, just get on my calendar. You know how to do it. Calendly.com/Gabe O'Neill, or text calendar to 21,000. And as Jeff mentioned, our next networking meeting is tomorrow at 1:00, 1 to 2:30. And if you haven't been to them, they are, as Jeff said, they're really fun. We like to do different things, but it's all about getting more business for you guys. It's really